I've been doing this job a long time, and when you go on these international tours, you're like, you start to say, what's the weirdest show we can do? And at the time, this was before The Masked Singer was in the U.S. So it's like they have this show called The Masked Singer, which is huge in South Carolina. We're doing that show. We have to go do that show.
Has Ryan Reynolds, Marvel's golden boy, really betrayed the studio that made him a global superstar? That's the question sending shockwaves through Hollywood as Marvel hits Reynolds with a staggering $100 million lawsuit. Once celebrated as the wisecracking face of Deadpool, Ryan now stands accused of breaching the trust of the very studio that helped cement his place at the top of the box office. But the real story? It's messier than anyone expected, full of hidden power plays, backstage manipulations, and whispers that his wife, Blake Lively, might be entangled in it all. Oh, and before we dive into this legal circus, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe. Every sub helps me buy another cup of coffee, and trust me, I need caffeine to keep up with all this Hollywood drama. Ryan Reynolds seemed to have it all. Deadpool wasn't just a hit, it was a cultural phenomenon. He took a foul-mouthed, R-rated anti-hero and turned him into one of Marvel's biggest cash cows. Studios don't usually give actors much creative freedom, but Ryan was different. Marvel trusted him. He wasn't just the face of Deadpool, he was the voice, the vision, and the heart. That makes what happened next even more shocking. It started with whispers. Quiet rumblings about trouble on the set of a film involving Ryan's wife, Blake Lively, and director Justin Baldoni. What started as a promising collaboration spiraled into tension and bruised egos. Blake felt overshadowed by Baldoni, who was directing and co-writing. She was used to having influence, and this time, she didn't. Soon, the gossip blogs picked up the scent. Leaked messages painted a picture of Blake maneuvering for control, with Ryan's name casually dropped as a not-so-secret weapon. She hinted that her husband could sway things if she needed him to. At first, it seemed like typical Hollywood squabbling, until Ryan's former Deadpool co-star, TJ Miller, threw gasoline on the fire. TJ dropped a bombshell. He claimed he had seen communications suggesting Ryan wasn't just an innocent bystander. He was involved, pulling strings, manipulating media narratives, and using his Marvel clout to protect Blake and pressure Baldoni. Fans brushed it off. Ryan? The funny guy with the cheeky tweets? No way. But TJ wasn't done.
About a month ago, this really hit home with me too. About a month ago, I was sitting in traffic and I was just like jamming These Dreams by heart. I was killing it in the car. And there was just this busload of high school kids that were parked right beside me. I didn't even realize. I looked over and every one of their jaws were just on the ground, laughing their friggin' guts out at me.
Rumors started swirling that Ryan had crossed a line, not just personally, but professionally. Insiders whispered that he might have leaked confidential Marvel information to give Blake an upper hand in her battle with Baldoni. And if there's one thing Marvel hates, it's leaks. This is the studio that guards its movie plots like state secrets. The idea that their trusted Deadpool star might have weaponized inside knowledge? That was war. Marvel responded with the legal equivalent of a nuclear bomb, a $100 million lawsuit. The exact details are sealed in legal jargon and corporate silence, but experts believe it involves breaches of contract, misuse of intellectual property, and violations of non-disclosure agreements. The lawsuit wasn't just about money, it was about trust. Marvel had given Ryan something rare, creative freedom, and now they felt he had turned that trust into leverage for personal gain. Blake Lively, once Hollywood royalty, wasn't spared. Baldoni released texts that painted her as manipulative, using Ryan's Marvel status as a bargaining chip.
High praise as well. It was just one of those. It felt like a live-action Pixar movie. It was something that, I wanted to do something where nobody was being stabbed in the face.
Yes.
There was almost no blood at all. I think I got a little paper cut on the movie. That was about it. And something that my kids can watch, but also as a parent, too, you want the parents need to get punched right in the heart as well.
Studios began whispering about her behind closed doors. Projects she had lined up started to look shaky. But the biggest question was Deadpool. Could Marvel really replace Ryan Reynolds? Fans loved him. He wasn't just playing Deadpool, he was Deadpool. But Marvel is bigger than any one actor. They've swapped out stars before. Insiders claim Marvel is already considering alternatives. The lawsuit suggests they might view Ryan as a liability, a loose cannon who can't be trusted with their billion-dollar franchise. Ryan's silence has been deafening. The man who built his brand on quick-witted social media comebacks has gone dark. No jokes, no quips, just radio silence. Fans are divided.
She said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
Were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me, and she's, I got snot coming out of my nose.
That ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of 2 people, maybe. And then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh,
What? Oh no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
My relationship with my father, which was very complicated and difficult. My dad was a very, I come from a middle class, kind of blue-collar home, and my dad was just of that generation, where it's just like, he was Clint Eastwood, and less is more. Simple grunts is how he communicated.
Okay, gotcha.
I think people tell themselves stories, and this sort of comes back to your worldview that you just mentioned about.
Some see Marvel as the villain, blowing a simple contract dispute out of proportion. Others believe Ryan went too far, that he let his personal battles bleed into his professional obligations. The truth? It might be somewhere in the middle. One thing's certain, the stakes couldn't be higher. If Marvel wins, Ryan could face financial ruin and professional exile. If he fights back and clears his name, it could be his greatest comeback yet. So, what do you think? Is Ryan Reynolds the victim of Marvel's overreach, or did he gamble with the studio's trust and lose? Let us know in the comments. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Every sub helps me fuel my caffeine addiction. And trust me, with this much Marvel drama, I'm gonna need a lot more coffee.